All right, you want to come and whenever you get time. It's only been live for I guess like 32 seconds.
Share, post. We have one person.
Got one person?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay,
Hey, Carl, what's up?
Am I muted here?
Hi, Hugo.
Okay, I am muted. All right. The cat tree holds the recone really well.
Hey, Jason. Hey, Kenneth.
All right, so got the basket all clean. I hope everybody can hear me well. Can everybody hear me fairly well? What they say?
Sextuplet said, hell yeah, Jerry Live. This is awesome. Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay.
Sup from Colorado.
People can hear me. That's good. First thing I got to do is get these terminals off of here. Uh-oh. That wasn't good. You could kick the air on a little bit. They actually tightened these dang terminals down when they stuck this thing back together.
Seguin, Texas.
What
Hello?
up, Texas? What in the... We got a cake decorating stand from Walmart. That's what my little Lazy Susan here is. It's a cake decorator from Walmart. The wife picked it up for me really cheap.
Got about 30 watching.
Wow. I was hoping for like 10. You said 30, that's a win.
Trucker!
Trucker, you did a pretty good job cleaning this basket up.
Tell her come get a demo.
You cleaned it more than I actually clean them.
Yes, Trucker, that is an awesome job.
Alright, so I got home and unboxed it from the way Trucker had it packed up. I basically just untaped what he had taped up here. I blew it out with my air compressor. I wiped the spider landing down and the surround landing with 91% isopropyl alcohol in a paper towel. And then I blew it all off again. I just took these off of it. I have everything I'm going to need here. I have this. I'm going to use these for the terminals. I'm going to cut that off, split it, you know, whatever. So yeah, right now, I got my shim. And like I say, guys, you can use paper instead of a shim. When you wrap the paper around the center pole, that's like the most distance you would want between the paper. That way it lines it up all the way around. But I have a shim, which makes life a lot easier. I have the team. Paul is now calling these Team SPL Recones. So this is what we have. and it was packed securely to make sure we don't damage nothing there. I haven't even set it down in here yet, but let's go ahead and give her a set. Everything is looking grand. And some people said they trim and do these tensile leads before they glue and everything. I always just do it after I get it in. But either way, it don't matter. But what I do have to see here is this one seems to be a
Fitting
ways.
a little snug.
No, it seems to be a ways off. Okay, that lines up the tensile leads and the subwoofer hose, so it kind of needs to go that way. Can you grab my clamps, son?
Yeah.
Sorry guys, I'm sending my assistant for clamps. This is what I'm going to be using here. Star Bond, medium thick CA glue. Somebody commented in one of my videos and said that CA glue seemed a little runny for them, but that Star Bond medium thick, it seems to do the job just right. Yeah, you can't see nothing. Babe, they were in a Walmart bag. She can't find my clamps. And it seemed like I had everything ready to go except for clamps.
That's all right. We'll find them. We'll find them. Before you start gluing, though, don't start gluing without them. Because they will break down.
I put them back on the shelf, I think.
Okay.
Sex Supplement, I don't know if I'm going to do weekend live streams every weekend, but we are just going to do some live stream. This is about the size I want here. Even small one will work.
Caleb, we're going to try to make that Greenville, North Carolina show.
Yeah, that Greenville, North Carolina, that's why I'm sitting here reconing a sub on a Friday night when I got to work tomorrow. Because I want to get the Jeep playing ASAP. Because these spiders on these Team SPL subs, these spiders are really tight. And I definitely want to try to get some break-in time. Get a fat bead of this Star Bond in there.
Y'all can see where he started in the left-hand corner and where he's going around on the right there, that he is, you know, putting a real thick bead.
No activator, guys. Like I said in my video the other day, that activator, it just screws you out of working time to get everything twisted around the correct way.
On that level.
And lined up. You see, right now I got my screw holes. They're all lined up. Push that bad boy down in there really good and just clamp your life away.
Beard tricks coming soon.
Hopefully. Hopefully we'll be getting some of them beard tricks. Them things always break. I shot right at my balls, babe.
Sounds painful.
I mean, it didn't hit the balls, but it shot right at my balls.
It sounds like it could have been.
Yeah, guys, I definitely need to invest in better clamps than these. But you know, these work. I'm not gonna lie, they'll do the job for you. But these little pieces keep like popping off. They don't fit in here the best.
He won't say it. I will. They're Walmart Hyper Tough. They're crap.
Shh, don't be dissing Walmart now. Walmart is sending people to the door.
They can send me to the door.
I mean, they be coming to the door all the time anyway, bringing our groceries.
I know. I order. They can throw
Okay,
me
so
out.
we got this bad boy clamped.
Well, Randy, we're glad we could help.
It's a pretty stiff spider, so you don't need like tons of clamps on the spider. This stuff will dry in a few minutes, so it's not like super imperative that you go ham with it. I mean, I put a fat bead down, it'll dry good on its own. Now we got to move on to the surround, and the first thing I need to do, okay. We got the old E6000.
Came good.
Boom, boom, boom. We got that. Without pulling up on the center to put any stress on the spider, we need to, and see this thing, it'll never stay up on its own. Well, that part did. But that's about the most I can ever get out of it. So, I'm just going to pick a spot. Yeah, I'm looking like an idiot now.
Brandon said he was going to drop that boot off in the mail, but Paul said he was going to ship it today since I was already there. But I guess he changed his mind.
Okay, he told me he's going to ship it Monday.
Well, hello, Paul Holden.
This is where the cake decorator comes in pretty nice. Paul Holden, ain't that the guy from North Carolina?
I don't know. Paul, are you from North Carolina?
Be hanging out with Chris Lee occasionally.
I think it is.
Yeah, I think that's Chris Lee's buddy. I talk to him on the phone occasionally.
Well, Paul, confirm or deny? He ain't saying shit. Paul said, yep. And the typical cure time for that, you want to at least let it cure for 24 hours.
What, the CA glue or the...
All that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's me. Well, hi, Paul.
I'm building this sub tonight, and it'll go in Monday. And hopefully, damn, I just dropped E6000 on the carpet. I did. It'll dry and pop right out of the carpet.
Mm-hmm.
I hope.
I've heard this a lot over the years. It never dries and pops out the carpet.
Probably not. As janky as I do recones, it's hard to believe they stay together. Alright, we got a good beat of this all the way around. Let's try not to step on what I dropped on the carpet. And, yeah. Ooh, I got some on my desk too. Ooh, yucky. Now, it's time. Yeah, there's a lot of E6000.
PSI Optimus said, damn, I've missed all the good parts.
Well, Mr. PSI, it does not take long at all to build a subwoofer. Like, this is a pretty quick job. What's going to take me longer than anything is soldering together the
Ends.
tensile leads.
You know, Daniel, that is not out of the realm. I have family down there. I was born in Daytona, so Jacksonville, yeah, that's not that far.
And we just started talking about building a car for Sick Week.
Yeah, which that starts down in Florida, so. Austin Martin. Hopefully we won't have to recone a lot of subs. He already has videos up of reconing. Or do you just mean going live? We'll try to do that from time to time.
Yeah, I don't go live a whole lot. Like, very seldom ever.
Alex, if you can't get a shim, then use paper like he said to make a shim.
Yes.
And you only want to leave it like half of my little pinky here gapped.
Guys, when I first started doing this, I didn't have any shims. And I learned the paper trick first. Which I highly recommend learning the paper trick. Just because if you get used to using a shim, then you're only going to want to recone subs that you have a shim for. But if you learn how to do it with paper, then it don't matter at that point if you have a shim or not, because you'll be like, oh, I got this, you know.
Terrence Elder says, Jerry, I became a recone expert watching you. Now I recone all my buddy Scar fans. But I love them anyways. I'll stick with my Wolfram.
Hell yeah. And I bet he learned to do it with paper.
He didn't say. The salty bourbon, I'm going to leave that one on, I don't know yet.
What?
Are we going to Slam?
Man.
It's such a hard drive on these old vehicles.
Like, I don't have a trailer. Bam. Like, everybody asks me if I'm going to TDH, and I don't even know, because last year, you know, we had a lot of bad stuff happen. After we rented the hotel room for TDH, we found out we had to move, and it was not a great time. So, I don't even want to say yet. It's still early.
We would like to.
Because, where the hell did that come from? Spider. What? Yeah. With everything we got going on now, trying to get the Jeep back playing, trying to get Deb's Blazer, you know, the doors done, the A-pillars done, and all that, we're really like time cramped. So I'm just trying to get everything playing again.
You've probably answered this 100 times before, but what is your thoughts on Neo versus Ferrite, NSB5 versus NSB6, or the ZB6?
I would always, it depends what you're going to do. If you're going to demo, stay with Ferrite. I would say that Sundown probably makes the best neodymium subs out there, because they've got their cooling on point. But just go on YouTube and type in like neodymium magnets and heat, and I mean, they take a simple candle and like heat up a neo magnet, and it loses all of its magnetivity. Like, it won't pick up anything. And ferrite, it don't matter. Ferrite will stay strong no matter how hot it gets, like damn near to melting. If I was gonna build a burnt monster, it would definitely have sundown compact neos in it. But if I was gonna demo all day, I stick with ferrite.
Glue of choices for reconing. We've already showed him once the Star Bond
See that? Yeah, there you show that.
in a medium thick. Do not spray it. And then the E6000 black or clear.
Let your CA glue dry naturally. I've seen guys making comments to spray the spider with CA glue activator. Like, you can use this stuff for some things, but not on a recone.
It's going to leave a white, nasty, crusty film.
And it just dries the outer layer of the CA. It don't really dry in the middle, but it makes it where you can't really adjust your recone after you get it set down in there. I like to set that thing in and turn it where I need it, especially if you have a spider ring that takes bolts. You want to be able to like twist and turn for a couple minutes to get bolts across from each other started. So what I'm going to do now is I have these, and I have a knife. Knife a Month Club, shout out.
Bro, I can listen to you all day. Base knowledge for days. Hi from Bayton, Texas. Well, hello, Bayton, Texas.
What I like to do is cut the yellow.
White.
I like to cut the yellow off of these things without cutting my hand.
Last time we had blood.
Usually anytime I do something, there's blood.
I left him a couple Band-Aids this time. He should be safe. Sean, I don't know where he gets his black E6000, but I'm pretty sure we've probably had this tube a minute.
Amazon.
Amazon. Everything comes from Amazon. If you have questions, it's Amazon.
I'm telling you, I had the same problem he did. I couldn't find it anywhere local.
Where did you find the coil spacer? Paul at G2 Dynamics for G2 subs.
And what's cool is this coil shim, it fits platinums, resilient sound platinums. Because I reconed a sub for the Silver Punisher, and this coil shim fit perfect. And as far as I know, that sub is still holding for him.
On aftermarket recones, who's the best to go with, do you think?
I don't know. Corey Dean makes a good recone. I will tell you that all of the guys on Team Ain't Loud use Directronics. Now, I don't know how expensive Directronics is going to be.
Would that be DTX?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Somebody else mentioned that they use.
All the guys on Team Ain't Loud that compete especially use DTX. So that is something to think about.
Mr. 15 Hertz, welcome to the
shit.
room.
Man, now see with Chris in here, I feel like I'm gonna have to do everything like really, really well, or he's gonna judge me.
He's already told you that JSS recones are good too. So
the only recones I've ever used so far are Factory and Corey Dean, so I don't have a lot of, But this, don't really want to fit these like double flat wound leads real well. So see, they got a little mark in the front. I don't know if you can see it. No, you can't really see it. But anyway, I take my cutters and I hold this bad boy and I cut them. And I forgot my needle nose. Just pry them open. Will you grab me my needle nose and a Q-tip?
yeah.
This probably isn't nowhere near the proper way to do this, but from what I've understood, most of the people I talk to have to do them this way. Unless you get like recones that come with good leads already soldered to them. So I don't know. This is just how I do it. And of course, I use like my best Klein tools, cutters to do it. And then we have like some heat shrink. I'll cut that in half and put on when I'm done. And then I have a dab. I mean, I have a little butane torch for the people that don't dab.
Dabs.
We don't talk about dabs on live, Deb. And we got flux and solder.
Now that the slow ass wife is back with the stuff.
So we gotta take this. We're gonna try to spread these open a little bit. Woohoo! I told y'all the soldering is like the longest part for me of doing a recone.
Justin, I will not confirm or deny that.
What?
Dabs.
I'm not gonna confirm or deny that Deb does dabs. I'm just gonna say I wouldn't put it past her. Can you get me my soldering iron right there?
Yeah.
Today for soldering, we have a cheap eBay special. And before anybody asks, it's a Weller brand. And I got to plug this bad boy in.
Well, clean slam, I do that for fun.
What?
Make edibles.
That's like a sport in this house. Okay, we got the old soldering iron plugged in. Get a drink of Coke. No Starbucks this late at night.
Aw, we miss you too.
Who?
Mr. 15 Huts, he said when we come back to Texas, he missed us already.
Aw. I would have never picked him to be the sensitive type. He seems like he would just beat people up to do it.
You have 64 people in here.
There are 64 people. Man.
He said he a big old bear. Good evening, Josh. He said it formal. I said it formal back.
So what I'm doing with this Q-tip is I'm putting this flux on it. You put the flux on and you get it down in there. And it makes it take solder extremely well.
Hello, Mr. Trent. How are you this evening?
Is that John Trent?
Yes.
That's the dude I reconed a sub for with his shim. We were talking about you earlier, John. So at this point, I gotta get my old man glasses out. I gotta kick my light down here to the side so I can see. And
that is a G2 Genesis Team
15.
15.
And for the people that don't know, that don't follow my channel, what I am doing is my old subs were dual 4. And with dual 4, I had to parallel them to 2 ohm. So each sub was 2 ohm. With 3 subs at 2 ohm, that gave me a 0.67 ohm load. and I run my amp strapped, so that made each amp 0.33, which just wasn't good for the amplifiers.
Kyle, I had a nightmare the other night that you and Jerry had set me up and were like towing all the damn bass rides out the yard in the middle of the night, and he was just sitting there laughing at me.
What do you mean? Kyle who?
Hart. Trucker. He was like, I miss you guys also, and I'm thinking, no. I want that shit to become reality. It was bad enough as a nightmare.
That's what I was talking about, how wide the tensile leads are. They're doubled. So, with the tensile leads being that big, they were a pain in the butt to get in that little thing. Which is why
I'll get that up there.
I spread it open.
He gets it like this so that he can cramp on it.
So, yeah, with it opened up like that, you can cram them bad boys down in there, hold it in place.
What's up, Audio Connections? We are gonna try. We're not making any promises on that yet.
So anyway, I get it on there. I crimp it back together with this. Now, I done told y'all, I don't know a whole lot about what the heck I'm doing.
Direct leads for the world.
I hate direct leads. I literally hate them.
That was Mr. 15 Huts.
Now, I'm not going to lie to you. They are better and easier when you do a recone for sure. Well, I won't even dispute that.
Hello, Kansas City.
So now that we got them two on, what I like to do at this point, I get this old Q-tip that had that flux on it. I put some more flux on it, and I hit the front and the wire where it's sticking out. I get that in there. And then we solder.
Josh, Jerry ain't loud. If the opportunity came about, would you rather create your own subwoofer series or amplifier series?
Man, I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I don't think I'm smart enough to do either. And I like to leave that to people that are like way more talented at it, I'm going to say.
The mad scientists.
You have a lot of guys out there that really know what they're doing with subwoofers. And like after talking to Jesus Madrid from Dead Game Audio, that guy is so smart at like subwoofers and everything that I was just amazed talking to him. I was so happy talking to him because he's just like a wealth of knowledge. And it really, after talking to him, I'm like, there's no way I could ever do this. I got to get scissors.
Which color?
That'll work.
All
Is
right.
this bigger than what we had last time, babe?
Yes.
Will you find me the stuff we had last time?
We don't have any more of it.
No more red and black?
No. I gave it all to you, but maybe a piece of red.
I sent the wife on a heat shrink mission.
What is the best place to find out where audio shows are going to be in? I'm in North Carolina, and there are usually some shows around here, but I always seem to miss them.
There's
one in like next weekend.
Yeah,
not this weekend, but the following.
March 11th in Greenville. But there's groups like Bass Heads of the Carolinas.
Later, Mr. 15 Hertz.
Bye, Chris.
Aw, thank you, Audio Connections. I'm like, I don't feel like I inspire anybody, but aw. He said we inspired them to start their own channel.
Awesome.
Yeah.
If my hillbilly ass can do it, anybody can do it. Ow.
Devin French, we don't know about the slamming and jamming in Newport, Tennessee either. We gotta get all these rides together first before we start picking anything bar distance. Um, what's up, Jerry? I'm interested in your opinion on running amps strapped with 312s at 1.33 ohm.
That would probably be fine, because you would put each amp at 0.67. Amps are happy at 0.67. In my experience, most amps do not like to be under a half for very long. And I know there's a lot of people that's like, oh, I ran mine at a quarter for X amount of time, and I have done a lot of testing in my Jeep, and what I come to find out is this new build does not have a lot of rise. Like, my rise is staying pretty dang low. So what that means is where people that have amps where they ran a quarter ohm and done it fine, their rise might be 4 or 5 times. And mine was nowhere near that high. So if you don't have a ton of rise, what winds up happening is you're putting too much stress on the amp. Hold on, I'm soldering, so I'm not going to be
He'll hold his breath while he does that.
very talkative. Well, I don't hold my breath. I just try to focus on what I'm doing.
Rubik's Cube, thank you. That is one way to pass your time as a truck driver.
What?
Listening to your videos.
Man, that's awesome.
He's listening from Folkestone, Georgia right now.
We got old crazy trucker. He be listening to me too.
Hey Jerry, I was wondering if 2 Audio Pipe 15s BDC4s in a 4th box with 6K teraamps would be any good.
That would be a great system out the gate with room to grow. And when I say room to grow, what I mean is them BDC4s is a pretty beefy subwoofer. So with 6K on them, and then down the road you could probably get another 6K and put one on each. And that would be a really good little setup.
73 people.
73. I don't even know 73 people.
But 73 people are watching you right now. Hey Jerry, how do you like that super stiff blue spider?
You
Well,
know,
don't be in line, I'll tell you it takes forever to break in. Because I broke in the first 2.
yeah, when Paul originally sent me these, I got a ton of power, guys, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I wasn't really hair tricking very good at all out the rip with these things, and it took me a long time to get them to where they would hair trick. And from that point, I took them out. I only had them in a couple weeks, and I put them. Eventually, I put 2 of them in Deb's edge, and it took her like over a month. And she finally got 2 of them. She said they got a hell of a lot louder the more she played them. So I think they're going to be great. I think they're probably going to be louder than the OEM Genesis for sure. But I mean, we just got to get them in there and try. But
Happy Friday to you, Ripper. What's up from Florida? What's up from South Carolina?
I will tell you guys that Paul has gotten in recones, or they're coming like any day now. 4 Genesis 15s, 18s, and I believe 12s. I believe he said they'll be in like any day. And they aren't the OEM recones. They're going to be more SPL geared. So it'll be like an upgrade. So I'm not sure. I just figured I would mention it to everybody. I'll probably have them on the Woofer Shop website before long.
What you doing over there, Mr. Staples says. Mr. Staples.
Oh, Billy's watching?
Billy's watching.
How the... Oh, Billy, you ain't gonna believe what I just did, bro. I just put this damn push terminal on here without the lead. I'm glad I caught that before I...
You see where he's trying to explain everything to everybody and getting lost. Well, hello in New Mexico, Arkansas, Denver, Colorado, Florida, California.
Really? I got somebody from California watching?
Yep, our daughter's out there.
I don't even know anybody in Cali except for my daughter.
I don't either.
So that is pretty awesome. Billy, I'm just throwing together an old subwoofer here.
Kansas, Washington. Got a stepson in Washington.
Billy, if you're still watching, I need my wire, bro. I need my wire. I can't get playing without my wire. So I will be at your house, or if you don't want to come to my house, Billy, I'm gonna have to go to your house to get my wire.
Pueblo, Puerto Rico, Minnesota, Springfield. Billy Staples says you're an amateur.
I am an amateur. An amateur at what now?
I don't know. Indiana did not make it.
Man, I've probably only been on doing this for like 30 minutes. And
42.
I've already got this subwoofer pretty much reconed.
Czech Republic. And he travels to South Carolina often.
Hey, you don't want to mess with people from the Czech Republic.
Nah, they vicious, man. That's what I heard. El Dorado, California. Tampa, Florida.
I got one side of the terminals on this bad boy already.
Some motherfucker said he used to get arrested a lot at Myrtle Beach when he was in the Marines, stationed at Camp Lejeune. You know they have that lawsuit about Camp Lejeune, right? If not, it's the water.
Everybody knows about the Camp Lejeune lawsuit.
Billy Earl is cooking supper tomorrow night. I'm just saying.
What's he cooking?
What he cooking?
You don't know.
Hey, Jerry, you did 2,000 watts at a U15 sundown is good?
Very good. Use are good subwoofers also.
Plant City, Florida. Like all these places in Florida, I know. Waycross, Georgia.
I'm going to be honest with most of y'all. I'm not going to tell you any subwoofer you have is a bad subwoofer.
Clutch 661, this is a G2 Genesis 15, just the team version. Recone's the same as most 15s.
Yeah, most subs do. Yeah, I mean, it's the same recone in most of them.
Jacksonville, North Carolina.
Speaking of Camp Lejeune, that poor Marine said he would come here and get arrested all the time. But this is Myrtle Beach. I mean, they will arrest you for anything here.
You're welcome, sir. I'm just reading the comments trying to keep y'all answered.
Billy Staples, all subs matter.
They do. Would you sell me the blueprints based on the specs given for your 6th order?
Man, there ain't really no super secret specs on my 6th order.
Richard, that's why we're at the table right now. We're trying to make it to Greenville.
I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. They said Mr. Beast might show up at that Greenville show.
Base boy, no, he does not have enough clamps there. You see the gappies, right? I see the gappies.
Yeah, and see, now that I have the majority of the spiders pretty much already glued down, we can start moving clamps from down there to where we need clamps up here.
Holly Pond, Alabama. Now that's just, it sounds peaceful.
Holly Pond, ain't that where they found all them dead hookers?
I don't know about all that.
No, I don't even know.
Nomads, that's coil rub. There ain't no coil rub.
Not yet. Guys, I've done really good on subwoofers. I'm not even talking about recone wise. I have just done good to date. In the Jeep, I have only actually blown one, possibly two subwoofers. The American-based XFLs, I did blow one of them, and that's the day that I met my homeboy Billy Staples. Great day. I blew a sub, but I made a really good friend, so that made that all worth it.
Did I give you the red?
Yeah, I don't use it. And then I think I might have actually blown one of the Pride subwoofers and didn't realize it, because we put them in Deb's Blazer, one of them just would never ohm out anymore.
Until Synergy, I got hand-me-downs and cast-offs. I'm sure y'all heard that. It's a cat.
Now, what I like to do at this point, guys, since this is a subwoofer that does not have a spider ring, I like to go in this edge where the spider comes up to the basket. Right on the edge of the spider, I like to go in there, and I just like to add a little bit of the old Star Bond.
Up against the ledge as close as he can get it.
Pretty much.
There's a little valley.
And what works great for that?
What causes paper noise in the subwall?
That could be a number of things. If you have a wall and you're getting weird noises, you could have a bad sub. You could
Bracing could be loose.
yeah, you could have anything loose.
Is it braced inside the box? Like
there's just 101 things that could potentially cause that.
are you gonna try to paint them ports or run them? Might be good to paint them to see if they start falling again.
What, my ports?
That's what JXKE thinks. Yes.
Oh, come on. I don't really have enough glue left in the bottle to use that tip.
That is not a plate. That is a cake decorator.
Yeah, look, it spins.
It's like a lazy Susan. The bracing for jingling came from 2 different locations.
In my enclosure, I have these. You buy a pack of basically 8 of these.
Can you guess where?
Amazon.
Amazon.
Like right hand thread, right hand thread, left hand thread. So you get 8 of them for $100 on the old Amazon. I believe I have them in my link in my on all my videos.
Well, Felipe, thank you for the subscription, and we'll try to keep up the great content.
But when you buy those Heim joint ends, you have to find pipe
that
then
they'll screw in, they'll slide down in.
Yeah, you gotta find pipe that they'll fit in.
And then once you do that, you got to find somebody that'll weld them
Yeah.
to the pipe
Which,
in the length that you need. And then either you or that shop needs to make a foot for a bolt to go through for it to be mounted to the box. I just tried to wrap it up a little quicker.
Yeah, if you don't weld or have a friend that welds, they're really not worth it. But if you weld and have a friend with a welder, myself, I found them rod link ends, and
Well, Jared, you're starting it. You got a welder. That's a start.
who's got a welder?
Jared.
Uh,
Jared Russell.
Yeah, if you can weld, you're almost there. I bought the rod link ends, like I said, on Amazon, and they're $100. The bad part was down here in Myrtle Beach area, the steel shop that I use, they didn't have any steel pipe that would fit those except for stainless. And if you do welding, you know that stainless is like a very expensive steel. But that's all that would fit them that they had.
Oh yeah, Stormy. It's a real small weld thing to do. Take a couple minutes on each one.
Yeah, after you get it all measured out.
Well, he told Josh that if Josh gets them and will ship them to him, he'll weld it for him for free, since if it's a small job.
And what's cool about them is I measured, and I think I needed like 16 inches. And that was from like center of eye to center of eye. So what you basically do is you turn them part of the way out on each one to get your 16 inches. And then that way you can adjust it longer or shorter. Basically, if you need 16, you adjust them halfway. You can adjust them in to like 15 or out to 17.
Another option that you can do is they sell a flat bracing that has a little drop-in part with a set screw. And you can just get the piping to go into that. That's what Jerry ran on the first series of the 6th order.
Like at Lowe's, they actually have a round flange with 4 holes in it that takes a pipe.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have any sitting here either. Cause
in the back room up against the wall.
Okay.
It's a really great alternative to bracing like I have now. It held great. I never had any issues with it. So guys, right now, I have the spider is glued on the outside. And I seem to have gotten it pretty good in there.
So this is the second alternative. It looks like this, except it would be silver. And then literally pipe fits in, set the screw, you're good to go.
Yeah, it worked really well. And I got all of that at Lowe's.
How do you recone a 10 into a 12?
You gotta have a basket. To turn a 10 into a 12, you're basically gonna order a 12-inch basket for the same, the same brand of sub that you have. So you'd use your same motor down here. You'd just replace the basket and then put a 12-inch drop-in in it. What I'm doing now is just going right here, looking real close at my glue joint where I added CA glue.
Well, Josh, I'm glad I had a second alternative for you on hand to show you.
Yeah, I use those braces there forever in my Jeep. You just like slide the pipe in there and screw that Allen screw down really tight. And they held perfect, never rattled, never nothing. So at the point I'm at now,
He's only putting 3K on it too. So
yeah, at the point I'm at now, I'm really good. The spider's glued down, the terminals are all soldered. We still have the clamps on, and they need to stay on for a while. What I'm going to do here in a little bit, I'm going to pull all the clamps off and put the sub ring on, the gasket, and then I'm going to put clamps back on it. And then this is the dust cap I have for it.
you'll make sure to remove the yellow tube out of the center.
Yes, don't never let it sit like this. Always go like that.
So that way you know that something's in the middle.
Yeah.
There have been people make the mistake. I wasn't saying it to be a smart ass. I promise you,
Yeah,
team members
it would be hurtful.
have done stupid stuff like this.
It would be really hurtful to do that. What I'm doing, I'm just using this cheap pen.
That helps him know where to put his glue.
And I hope that it's going to mark on here. Probably not. Not worth a crap. I normally use a pencil or something, but anyway.
Let's see, you can try these.
No, I don't want to use the Sharpie on it.
It was light. I figured it would disappear on it.
To me, this don't matter a whole lot because I run my subs inverted.
Tells me he doesn't want to use Sharpie. Use a Sharpie.
Well, when we use a Sharpie, I'm using a black Sharpie. But now I have a ring on there that I can see. So what I'm going to do, basically, is after I get this to the point where I can put my my gasket on there, I will basically glue my dust cap down with E6000. I'll put this on here, and the wife's got a really heavy candle over here that
I like to resort to the Yankee Candle Pink Sands. Okay. She flat on the bottom.
Anyway, it's going to take a few hours for the old surround to get to a good enough point that I can literally take it apart to put the gasket on. My soldering iron is still pretty warm.
Which part are you lost about, trucker?
What did Trucker say he's lost it?
I don't know. That's what I just asked.
Somebody said I give them the confidence to try a recone, their Resilient Sound Team 18.
That's awesome.
I tell you what, recones might cost quite a bit, but it's cheaper than buying a whole subwoofer.
He's always lost.
I said in other videos, the hardest thing I've ever reconed is a 10-inch mid. And it's because you don't have a shim for a 10-inch mid, so you literally have to use paper. And normally with a subwoofer, you know, you'll be like 4 to 6 sheets of paper thick wrapped around in there, so it'll slide together kind of tight. With that 10-inch mid, I couldn't even get 2 sheets of paper in there. It was really tight. And what I wound up doing is I cut like 2 strips here, 2 here, 2 here, and 2 here. And I kind of had to hold them in place and slide the cone down or the coil down over it. And it was just a lot less room. Like to get to the leads to solder them, it was like way less room. Somebody said I was brave grabbing the soldering iron. Just remember, it smells like chicken. It had been unplugged since I got done soldering. I was letting it cool. Yeah, the resilient teams are like, they're big, big, heavy subs.
Now you just gotta sit there with a
Yep.
sub in your face talking to people.
Terrence, no lie, no lie. Mids are very, very hard to recone. And that's why I keep telling you guys, asking about a shim. Learn to do it with paper. And when that paper goes around there, you want very, very little gap, maybe that much gap. If you have a gap that wide, then the coil can push over that far. And it'll be off-centered, and that's where you get bad coil rub and everything. So, very small gap of all your pieces of paper wrapped around there. And you got to remember, the more paper you add, you're going to have to start cutting it a little longer per piece when you add it in. But it's not bad. Once you learn to do it with paper, then you can do any sub you want to. I use this thing on subs that it'll fit, but when I did Deb Synergy WFO 15, this would not even fit over the center pole because it had a bigger coil. Even though it's 3-inch, it was just a bigger for some reason. So I had to do paper, and it was no problem at all. It took me maybe 10 minutes to get all the paper lined out.
Which one was that?
Your Synergy.
There should be a video up of it.
I don't know. You know, there's a Sundown X to ZV6. Takes 7 to 9 sheets of paper, depending upon thickness paper. Yeah, I usually stick with whatever paper I have at work. Which I work in a tattoo shop, so we just have regular, like,
Printer paper.
rungs of printer paper, and I'll usually grab a stack like that thick and bring it home. No, you cannot use any 3-inch shim on a ZV6. That's what I was just talking about. This is a 3-inch shim, and it fits the Genesis, which is what it's made for. It fit a Resilient Sound Platinum, but Deb Synergy subs, her WFO 15s are 3-inch, and this would not fit it. Like, it literally would not slide over the center pole. So, I had to use paper. I think if you actually play with paper, you ain't going to spend $400 to mess up. What I think any of y'all should do that have to use paper, take your time and cut some paper to where I said it's like yay far from touching each other once you get it wrapped around, and practice sliding the coil down over it. If you can slide the coil down and it's pretty tight, you're good. If the coil won't slide down, you got too much paper. If it just falls down over it, you got too little paper. John Trent, what size coil spacer did you use on my sub to recon? I used this one here.
It says I put that under.
Yeah. I used this yellow one that's made for the G2 Genesis. But that's what I'm saying. It won't fit all subs. Like, there's a lot of different motors, a lot of different center poles, different coil thickness. So, you know, will it work or will it not? I don't know. I know when I did John Trent sub, I was just like, hey, I'm going to see if this shim will work. And it's like, lo and behold, it went in there and it fit tight. It fit the center pole good, and when I slid his coil down, his coil was tight on it, just like a Genesis coil would be. And I'm like, okay, it's perfect, you know. But when I tried to put it on that Synergy 15, it wouldn't even slide down, and I'm like, okay, it ain't going to work on that. Yep, you just need enough paper that it's a little snug. And I keep telling you guys, you want very little gap by the time you wrap it around, very little gap in the ends of the paper. Because if you only went like from here to here with paper, the coil was going to push that way. So just, you know, make sure you got it in there good. And it's not bad doing it with paper. I did my first one with paper and it came out fine. The first sub I ever recone is still playing. So that's a good note. Now, for guys that have Resilient Sound subs, like the 12s, the 15s, or the 18s, Paul might have a few more of these, so you can message him at G2 and ask him if he has any coil shims for sale. I know he had a few. I don't know if he's going to get rid of any, but he could. How much does the G2 in front of you weigh? I believe this thing weighs like 55, 60 pounds. Somewhere around 55 or 60. I know it has more than a 300-ounce motor. I'd say around 55 to 60.
And it don't weigh as much as my Synergy.
Yeah, it don't weigh nearly as much as Deb's Synergies or my Prides did. It weighs a lot more than my American-based XFLs did. It weighs enough that after you load 5 of them, you will be tired. Sundown will sell shims in the Lazy Susans. And that'll work great if you're reconing Sundown subs. But as I was saying, a lot of subs will take a different shim. And the Lazy Susan, how much you pay for this thing, babe? Like $10 at Walmart?
Yeah.
Like $10 at Walmart. It's made for cake decorating. And I've had a 100-pound sub on it. I did a DS18 Hooligan on one, and it spun it just fine. Yeah, it probably weighs less than your X's. Yeah, you definitely want the... And that's where a lot of people make mistakes reconing, is they don't get the paper close enough on the ends, and it will offset the coil a little bit. Or what I've heard of a lot of people doing here recently is they'll spray activator on the coil. They had their CA glue down activator on, or not the coil, the spider. And when they put activator on the spider and slide it down, it locks it in place immediately. I like to use the Starbond CA glue, stick it down, and as you can tell, I just touched the edge. We've been like 10 minutes since I put down that last coat of CA, and it's still wet. I like to let it cure naturally, you know. You get working time that way. When you put the Starbond down really thick, slide the spider down, you can line up your screw holes in the surround, and then you can clamp the spider in place and let it kind of go on its own. And I think you get a better bond than using an activator immediately. But now that I put that on top, I can go in if I want to and hit it. That way if I stick my fingers on it, that way if I do stick my fingers back in there, it's had enough time to pretty much set up on that top layer. What's under the spider should have already been pretty set up. And I'm going to let this thing, it's Friday night, it probably won't play to Sunday evening or Monday. So, as long as the spider is good and cured, I don't care about the surround. Because I'll have my gasket on here and I run my subs inverted. So when you got the gasket here and you mount the sub upside down, when you bolt it down, you're holding force on the surround at the edge. So for me, I don't really care about that a whole lot because I know it's not going to go anywhere. And the E6000 should be plenty dry. Now, E6000 on the dust cap, definitely you got to let that thing dry for like 24 hours or it'll blow off. So I'll probably glue the dust cap with E6000. Then I'll come back tomorrow and go right around the edge of it with a little bit of the Starbond, and it should be golden. And I think I said in another video, 2-ounce bottle of Starbond. This is the 5th subwoofer that I've reconed with this bottle. So that is great. 5 subwoofers out of 1 bottle. And I've used it for other things around the house. Like for instance, this is Deb's universal power window switch I'm putting in the Blazer. And I will glue it to this factory door panel piece and glue the door panel piece back in the panel with the old Starbond. So, yeah, that stuff's like 18, 20 bucks a bottle on Amazon, I think, maybe cheaper. And then a tube of E6000 is under 10, I think, for 2 of them. Yeah, guys, don't buy subwoofer recone kits of glue and stuff. Go on Amazon and get your own. I seen somebody on Facebook that owns an online shop, and they're wanting to put together a kit of glue for recone and subwoofers, where they're going to give you like a bottle of CA glue, probably a tube of E6000, maybe some paint brushes or epoxy, and they're going to try to charge you like $60 for it. Now you can use epoxy on the spider. I have never used epoxy. I've always used CA glue, and I've had really, really good luck with it. As I said, somebody mentioned in the other video that they didn't like the CA glue because it's too runny. I use medium thick Star Bond, and it is not as runny. But I've had really good results with it. I usually never spray activator on it, and I just did on that top because that's the bead I put around on top of the spider. I do think it is a stronger hold when you let it cure on its own.
Yeah, we cut the spiders out.
Yeah, because, I haven't cut spider out of one that I've reconed. I've cut apart subs that Mason Vincent have reconed, and you talk about a pain in the butt. Any tips on removing spiders from baskets?
That's what I was talking about. You just cut
Oh,
them
yeah.
out.
Well, okay. Yeah, Walmart has all the glue. Well, last time I was at Walmart, they didn't have black E6000. But anyway.
And you can get the glue remover stuff on Amazon.
What I like to use if you're cutting, like if you're reconing a sub and you want to get it out of the basket, the spider, I use a utility razor knife. I try to cut out what I can from the spider and surround. And then I literally use a grinder with a flapper disc. The 4-inch disc of the sandpaper overlapped all the way around it. And you just got to be careful and lightly go around. And I don't get the basket down all the way to bare aluminum all the way around. If there's little bitty sections that are nice and flat, I don't care. Because obviously that shit wasn't coming up to begin with. But that is what I like to use. Tape up the coil gap first and foremost before you start cleaning. Tape that up.
Safety gases.
You should wear safety glasses, yes. If you watch me cutting the roof out of the Jeep at Pick and Pull, I didn't have any that day. But yeah, a grinder will clean all that up really quick.
Couldn't have watched it. It's on my channel.
Yeah, that's on Deb's channel. Debbie ain't loud. But tape up your coil gap, do your grinding, blow it off. If you don't have an air compressor with a blower, canned air is better than nothing. And then you can pull the center, your tape out of the center, blow everything out again, and inspect the coil gap. Wipe it down with rubbing alcohol, brake clean, or lacquer thinner, whatever. Just wipe it clean, and then you're good to glue.
That is his motto?
Safety third. I don't know where I heard that. I don't know. But yeah, definitely safety third. Now, I do know that Puddin's Fab Shop only says if 2 won't hold it, 3 never would have. When it comes to putting lug nuts on or bolts or whatever. But anyway, I don't even know. What time is it, babe?
It is 9:16.
So I've been on here an hour. I've been on here an hour. We're an hour into this recone. Yeah, Puddin is the man. I love Puddin's channel. So an hour in, and we pretty much got this bad boy reconed. Like I said, there's nothing I can really do at this point because we're letting this this E6000 up here kind of cure. So I can take the clamps off and put the gasket on. The dude that sent me this motor and basket, he already had it cleaned up, which is great.
He's right in the chat. Kyle Hart.
Yeah, Kyle Hart, he sent it to me. I traded him a good working Genesis for it. But he already had the basket clean, which helped me a lot.
super clean. He earned that sub.
However, he did not send me a gasket for it. So I'm gonna have to break into my stash of gaskets, which don't matter. I got some gaskets. But anyway, yeah, I'll put it on here. Then I'm gonna clamp it back after I put that on. I just want to get it dried enough right now that it don't shift this around any when I'm putting the gasket on. And I'll glue the dust cap down. Give it a little bit of time though.
We have all the time zones.
Yeah, we got a bunch of different time zones here. I'll show you how tight this shim is though. Look. It's tight enough, the shim is tight enough that I can turn the sub. Now, this shim fits these things super, super tight. When I do paper, it's usually not nearly that tight. I mean, it's good and tight, but not that tight. These are a monster to pull out. Time zone base heads united. Definitely, guys. That's kind of what I thought was screwed up. I mean, I know a lot of y'all ain't friends with me on Facebook, but when the owner of Surge Audio, the old owner of Wolfram, was making all the, when they put screenshots up of putting him on blast, I was just like, man, that's kind of messed up because car audio and drag racing, which I think car audio more than drag racing, but you have like black, white, Mexican, Asian, all hanging out together, having a good time.
Just whoever. It's
Very
whatever.
seldom is there ever a fight. You got young guys, old guys, you know, like Loud Grandpa and Chris Lee. And I'm pretty sure there might be a couple people from the LGBTQ community there, but nobody gives a crap. Everybody's having fun, getting demos, and that's what really matters. So when I saw what was going on with the whole ordeal with that Colin guy that used to own Wolfram making all the racist comments, I'm just like, damn, that's crazy, because I've always said before, car audio brings everybody together, you know. It's like, it's never usually any racial thing or gay bashing or whatever, you know. It's just everybody having a great time. How long do I break my subs in? It all depends. The OEM Genesis, I took them bad boys out of the box, I put them in, and I beat on them pretty much immediately, and they have a nice, like, soft suspension, and I didn't really do any break-in on them. You know, I just, if they would get a little smelly playing, then I would give them a break, turn it down a little bit. And after a little while, they quit smelling. And the wife Synergies, they took forever to break in because she don't dry that thing like daily. And we would just keep turning it up to till we could smell them, and then we would go easy on them and then turn it up. But they took forever. These are really, really stiff spiders. These things, I have no idea how long it's going to take to break all these in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to place some lows on them till I can smell them. Then I'll turn it down, go easy on it, then turn them back up. When I had the 4 teams in my Jeep the first time, I said it took a good 2 weeks before they got really windy, and they still wasn't all the way broke in. So, you know, I'm going to hammer on them like when I go to work and stuff. I'm not going to go full tilt, but I'm just going to drive down the road playing like 18 hertz. You know, moderate volume to get them moving pretty good, and I'm just going to let them eat. And if they get stinky, I'll turn it down, let them cool off, and then I'll turn it back up. But I figure if I play like 18 hertz on them for a week or two, they should be good. And that'll be a big deciding factor on whether or not I go to the Greenville show in North Carolina, is if these subs aren't broke in very well and I can't give really good demos with them, then I probably won't go. But if I can get them good and broke in to where they give a good, nasty, windy demo, then yeah, I'll try to be there. My boss at work don't know that I'm probably going to try to be there, but That's a whole nother story for another day. I think we're good on this, so will you give me a guess? You know where they're at?
Are they still hanging where I hung them?
Yeah, on the back of that shelf. Yeah, the back of the shelf, there should be one there. What's bad? I'm putting a nice, pretty new gasket on here. Well, not new, but it's nice. And the subs I took out of my Jeep have like white paint pieces on the gasket. That's what I'm sending Kyle. But he's got a nice, pretty gasket off of here to put on it.
Got white on it.
That's got white on it?
Yeah.
It's because it was mounted in my Jeep before. This is one of the XFL gaskets. Alrighty, so my assistant, hold that. Let's see. That's cooled down enough. It can go back in there. I got parts everywhere. We just gonna go clampy, 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 clampy. Man, we were using big clamps, white clamps. See, it's still a little tacky, but not bad. Good God. I've been scouring the old Amazon trying to find some better clamps. You know, some that are like these, which them are Dollar Tree clamps. I ain't gonna lie, them pink ones come from the Dollar Tree. This is the same thing, only a little better. It didn't come from the Dollar Tree.
It did.
Did it really?
It came from the mechanics section in the Dollar Tree. The other ones came from the girly section.
Whatever. They all work. But I've been looking on Amazon at some of those, that style. And guys, I'm not gonna lie to you, them clamps are kind of expensive. Okay, let's see here.
You just be wanting to do their crafts.
Okay, it's pretty lined up there. Good God. We're going to have a new YouTube show. Like, how long does it take an idiot to put a gasket on a subwoofer? Somebody time me. Okay.
Didn't take you too long.
What I'm trying to look at here is how straight I got it. That's pretty straight. We'll take my coil tool for my vape.
Chris, it's funny that you make that joke when he unloaded his subs. I'm the one who carried them into the house and the one who carried them back out when he reloaded.
Guys, no bullcrap. If y'all would watch Deb's channel, when she blew her Synergy 15, I kind of told her what she needed to do to pull it. And I was at work and she texted me pictures of the 15. She blew a back one. So that means the front one had to come out. I'm at work and she's texting me pictures of the 15, like the first one sitting out on the edge of her port in the front. And then she just like sent me a picture of the back 15 was out sitting there. I'm like, okay, cool. By the time I got home, she already had like the blown one in the house, like ready to be reconed. I teach her things occasionally. Like if we build a race car for a sick week, which it won't really be a race car, just be a little
street car.
little LS something or other, maybe with a couple Turbskis on it, you know. But definitely a junkyard LS motor. I'm not going to build a high-end motor for it. We're talking LS straight out of pick and pull. Probably a truck. But I'm gonna have Deb drive it down the track. That way I can film the YouTube videos.
Did I convert anyone from working to a base head? Almost anywhere I've worked or go.
We promote baseology. That's all we're gonna say. We promote baseology.
Like sometimes I'll just go to Walmart, hair trick in the parking lot.
Now see guys, this is much better. Good God, guys. I hate reconing subs at my computer desk because now this thing's got to sit here for a long time. And with it having to sit here for a long time, I can't get on my computer, which is terrible. I can't get on my phone because I'm recording you guys with it. How am I going to check my Grinder app? I used to joke about that all the time. When I was on TikTok, my God, the people from TikTok would send me song requests. Like, every social media platform I was on, they would find me and send me song requests. Like, can you play this in the Jeep? Can you play this? And I made a joke on TikTok one day. I'm like, my God. Like, I even, like, on my Tinder, on my Grinder, on my Plenty of Fish, on my Christian Mingle, like every website I'm on, people were sending song requests.
I don't think they have any in stock right now on the Team 15.
Are you talking scraping bass? Are you just talking the Team Recone? Because all he's going to have is the Team Recones.
He don't have it on his website.
Maybe not. I don't know. I do know that he said that they're like 2 weeks out. Oh, the sub. He don't actually have a G2 team sub. What he wound up doing is, no, they hadn't been nothing on MySpace in years. I ain't even checked my MySpace in years. But, the Team 15, the Team G2 subs are, like, this is a standard Genesis motor and basket. It's just got SPL oriented soft parts in it. That's what they call the Team. You used to get kicked out of Walmart parking lot for playing ICP back in the day. Yeah, after playing cotton candy. I tattooed at like 4 Gathering of the Juggalos. You talk about some crazy times. I thought I saw a lot of crazy stuff tattooing at like bike rallies for bikers. Nope. Nothing in my life could have prepared me for tattooing at the Gathering of the Juggalos.
And it bothered me none. It was people having fun.
Oh yeah, they were having fun, but it was just shocking. Very, very shocking stuff. But, yep, definitely the Gathering of the Juggalos was some of the craziest tattooing I've ever done. I'm not gonna lie. The guys in Twisted, Boondocks, Anybody Kill a ABK, Blaze Your Dead Homie, all of them dudes were extremely cool. Never like really got to meet Shaggy, but Violent J was a total prick the whole time, guys. I ain't even gonna lie to you. You gotta go to the display. Oh, you were talking in the stores. Oh, hell. Pop your CD in and hit full tilt. I can see that. I can see that. Well, there's not a whole lot I can do here. I'm just checking the spider now to make sure that all that glue, because I had it clamped for a good 40 minutes probably. And then I put that top layer of glue on. I hit it with a little activator, so it is good and cured. So I know my spider is not going to move. Whoop, whoop. I know the spider is not going to move. I got my surround. It's been glued and clamped for a while. So I know my spider is not going to, or my surround ain't going to move because we got the gasket on it and it's clamped back in place really good. And I've done all of this stuff with my shim in, which is important, guys. When you do all this stuff, make sure you keep your shim in. At this point, I feel that I can confidently take my shim out. Some people might be saying it's too soon, but what do I use for the activator? You normally don't use activator, definitely don't, but this is what I ordered.
Oh, they want you to wiggle for them.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And this was a kit that I got. I got like 4 of each.
Every time, trucker.
4 of these, 4 of these. This is for when I do fiberglass work. But it was only like $30 on Amazon. It's in my store on here. But what I was saying, I can pull this out now. So shim's out. We can give it a test. Woohoo! Nothing. No noise at all. And that is a stiff baby. Like, my God, that is stiff. But no noise. And that is what you want. At the end of the day, what you want is push down, no noise. Ooh. Now, we're on to plan B, or part B. At this point, it'd be like B, C, D. We're going to put a big old fat bead of this up to my line. You got to remember, your dust cap is very important. It's for more than dust. Your dust cap is essentially for cooling. When the sub moves up, it pulls air in across the coil. And then when your sub moves in, it presses the air across the coil. So if you blow a dust cap, your coil is going to get hot as hell extremely quick. Alright, as you can see, we got a huge, well, I'm not going to say huge, but we got a pretty big bead of the old E6000 on there.
I tried for y'all.
What?
I perfectly centered so they could see what you were doing.
We got the old shim out. Anytime you want to stick your dust cap on there, make sure that you have your shim out.
Night,
now,
Chris.
Good night, Chris. I got my terminals on each side. I got a screw hole at the bottom and at the top. We're just going to drop this bad boy in there. We're going to give it a little turn. Oh, yeah, I can feel the glue. A little bit already poked out up there. So we know we're good. I got my tape. Hand me the Yankee candle, babe. And I got my Yankee candle to sit on there. I have used an alternator before, like EXO. I just don't have an alternator in the house, so.
We in the house, we keeping it classy.
So anyway, guys, at this point, this subwoofer needs to dry for at least 24 hours before I can play it.
You're welcome, guys. Thank you for watching, you and the whole family. Good night, Rookie Denny.
Sextuplet Cobalt, yes, you're the guy that has been asking me to go live, and I finally did. And it's because of you that I went live. Because you kept asking about it, and I'm like, well, I do have to recone a subwoofer, and going live and reconing a subwoofer would be like the perfect time to do it. So, yes.
Where is the bass show in Greensboro again?
Man, I don't just go on Facebook and do a search for "Turn Down for What" Greenville, North Carolina, and it will pull up the info on the show. For those of you who's like guys in different states that don't know a whole lot about your local shows, do a search for Facebook groups. Like, type in the state that you're in. Like, here we just do Carolinas because there's North and South, but you could type South Carolina car audio and for a search for groups, or South Carolina bass heads, or, you know, something like that. And eventually you're going to find a group of bass heads in your area. So that's what we do here. I'm in like probably 7 or 8 different groups for car audio in the Carolinas, and the shows always pop up. But like if you're in Texas, I know Texas is a huge state. So you could type in like Houston car audio or Houston bass heads or whatever if you're in Houston, and find something around that area. And generally, even with Texas being a big state, if you was in like a Houston car audio page or group, anything outside of Houston within a good distance is going to get posted there. So that's how I like to find, you know, I find all the shows in my area. I definitely should go live more often. Normally, I don't like I used to go live on TikTok all the time, and I'd have thousands of people watching. It did get kind of sucky because I would have to literally try to read all the comments, and they're flying by like this, so I never really got to answer a lot of them. This was more fun because I was just sitting here working, and Deb was reading the comments to me when I wasn't looking at my monitor. Because I actually pulled up the live on my computer monitor so I could, yeah, you see me there, yeah. But anyway.
So you kind of keep up, you know.
So I could kind of look over. I don't know. It's something I might do a little more often. I don't know. I guess it would depend on the project that I had.
Well, thank you, Basin Cats.
The problem is I try to use revenue that I make on YouTube for things for car audio to put back into car audio. And you can't monetize a live until after you've ended the live. And then I can turn monetization on for people that rewatch it. But I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of people watch a whole live without just scrolling like through it really quick. Because it does get kind of boring. And you can't really see here, but you know, we got our terminals nice and soldered on there. That's pretty nice. Everything's ready to go. When you have a subwoofer sitting on the motor, the positive is always on your left, in case you didn't know. But yeah, positive is always on your left-hand side. Yeah. The next thing to do would be test it with a multimeter. I could break out this bad boy Tesman here that Tesman sent me that they said was perfect for car audio. And I did a video on it. It won't read anything under 50 ohms. After I did the video saying it's not perfect for car audio, they reach out to me and they're like, oh yeah, it won't read anything under 50 ohms. 50? Who the hell got a 50 ohm subwoofer? So yeah, it's pretty much not good at all for car audio. For your home electronics, it is a good little meter.
You don't even have to hook up any leads or nothing. Just go by, touch it to the wall.
It picks up like low voltage and high voltage, like wirelessly. But yeah, I don't have my meter in the house, so. But normally after you recone a subwoofer, it's always good to go in and just ohm out each coil to make sure that it's good. And then another thing that's good to do is take your drill battery for like your DeWalt, your Cobalt, your Makita, your Ryobi, your Milwaukee, whatever your flavor of choice is, and hook 2 wires to the terminals. You only got to do one side, but well, you can try both sides, but hook that sub up and then tap it to the battery terminals. And if you got it red to positive, black to negative, it should pop up. If it pops down, then whoever did the recon got the wires swapped under here. Believe it or not, I had a subwoofer do this, and it was built by FI Audio.
I have a subwoofer.
The wife's, one of her FIs, I have to hook it up backwards on the leads. Because actual positive is negative, and negative is positive on both coils. We got them new subs, put them in, turned her system on, and it was not loud at all. It was like, it was weak.
I was sad.
It was 2 15s playing like 112 weak, is how weak it was. And I tried everything, and I started watching the subs when she would turn it up, and one would move up, and the other one, it was doing this. So I took them and I unhooked them from the amp, and I did the pop test on them with a drill battery, which is how I found out that one sub was backward. And luckily, both coils on it was backward. Now, they could have just one side of your lead swapped on the coil under here to the tensils. And if they did that, one coil would be right and the other coil would be backwards. So it is a good idea to pop both of them. But, and I didn't test the last time. I just threw it in the Jeep. I hope like hell they're right. Because normally I will test them, but yeah, whatever. I mean, it's not too late. If I have issue or if it's like not loud or not windy, then their motor's up, so I can just hook wires straight to the leads to see what it does. But as somebody mentioned in one of my other videos, I am going, each amp was at 0.33 of an ohm. Now each amp's going to be at 0.67. So you'd think I'm going to lose power. I could actually gain power. The amps wasn't happy at 0.33. And you're like, how are you going to gain power? Well, before everything was parallel. All the sub coils were parallel with each other. And then all the subs were parallel with each other. Now I am wiring series parallel, which means like this negative is going to this positive over here. And then positive and negative from these sides go to the amp. And in turn, wiring your coils in a series does increase your BL, or overall motor force. I don't know how it works, but it's some kind of like wicked subwoofer magic in here. It would take somebody smarter than me to explain that to you. But Paul at G2 told me that. Madrid at Dead Game also confirmed that. A couple people in the comments in one of my subwoofer videos even mentioned that. So
somebody had a Down for Sound LTO 6.0 with the terminals that were backwards on it one time.
Good thing. Yeah, good thing you checked that. Park and pound dope local gatherings. Yeah, stuff like that is fun. Like the park and pounds. We can't do a whole lot of that here in like the Myrtle Beach area. You can, but you can't. Here we have like Broadway at the beach, and it's in the center of Myrtle Beach, kind of. And normally you can go to that place and give some pretty good demos out in the parking lot. I think it was 2021, Halloween night, it was Jeep Jam for Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
And me and Deb took the old Cherokee out, old Jangalang. And that's when I had the 4 15-inch prides in it. And I was over there giving demos. And
Oh, he found it. Yay. Glad you found the show.
Oh, but security guards came up and I mean they came straight to my Jeep. I had just got done giving a demo and I looked at the security guards when he got off the golf cart. And one of them had really long hair and I'm like, dude, get in. And he's like, what? I'm like, take your hair down and get in. And he's like, what for? And I'm like, Yoshi, he got in and got a demo. And he was so impressed with the Jeep and hair tricking that he didn't even say shit about me playing the radio real loud in the parking lot. So that was a good time. A 9-volt battery would work good to pop a sub. I don't know if it would work great on this because this spider in this thing is so stiff. I don't even know if a 9-volt would be able to move it. But it would tickle it enough that I could see which direction it was going. This is a G2 Team Genesis. It's basically a standard Genesis motor and basket with the SPL recone in it. And I didn't blow any of the Genesis I had.
Had to send a brand new one away.
Yeah, I wound up getting 4 Genesis originally. Then I got a bunch of recones. And Paul wound up sending me 2 motors and baskets. And I had 2 motors and baskets. I wound up building one of them to put in my Jeep. And Paul, before everything, Paul had sent me a Genesis 15 for the black Jeep. So that made 6. So I put them in the Jeep when I rebuilt it. And I still had 4 of these team subs. And I used the other motor and basket that Paul had sent me originally and built a team sub. And then I just got this motor and basket from Kyle Hart. We swapped a good sub for this basket and motor. So I didn't have to basically cut up a good working sub.
And if you do go back and watch the beginning of the video, Kyle Hart did an amazing job cleaning up that basket.
Which Kyle pretty much learned to recone watching my old videos and talking to me on the phone. But yeah, a drill battery works great for that. Guys, I use a drill battery for everything. Like if you're in the junkyard working on a car and you need to move a power seat, it's a junkyard. Find the seat power wires, cut them and hook them to a drill battery and move the seat. You can roll windows up and down in a junkyard if you're having to remove door glass or whatever.
Check windshield wiper pumps.
Yeah, you can check everything with a drill battery.
Always carry a drill battery to the junkyard.
They might say 24 volt on them, but at a short burst like that, they work great for everything.
It's a Team G215, yeah. Now with the recone in it, it is.
I even got the nice little carbon fiber cap on it. And it's going to be mounted inverted. You won't see it. Like the other day when I was putting the team subs in, the 5 that are in there, I left my bracing in, or my mounts for my braces, and when I flipped the sub over, it just like drug across one of them and scratched the back of it up. Voice coil in series being more BL. Yeah. Apparently riding the series, you're using the entire coil in parallel. Yeah. And that's what I was saying earlier. That's what I had been hearing, is that wiring the coil in a series will give me more BL. Yeah, if you have manual windows, you can use a drill to roll your windows up and down.
Jason, thanks for reminding everybody to thumbs up.
Yes, thumbs up, and yeah, because that actually helps people. I think when people thumbs up a video, it keeps putting it in recommended for other automotive stuff. Well, yeah, Park and Pound is a Becca thing, but I mean, it'd be cool to do a cars night out and everybody hang out and give demos in a parking lot. Like, not being a show, but being a show. When I did Demo Dominator in NSPL, the tracks I used to do that with were actually made for Park and Pound. Jason, we appreciate that, buddy. Man, I go to Ruckus every year.
I'd be offended if we didn't.
Yeah, we've been 4 years in a row now.
That's my show. I got to give Kyle Rutherford's kids their first demos. I was very honored.
Yeah,
It was great.
Clippo put his kids in her Blazer for like their first demos, which I don't know how to take that. But yeah, Ruckus is my favorite show that I've been to so far. It's just a good, chill show. A lot of you guys that have been to Ruckus, if you only go on Saturday, you guys are missing out. Granted, Sunday is a shorter day, but it's more laid back and chill with the demos. And they have church close by, so you can't start playing until noon. But they let you in at like 10 in the morning, I think, or 11. So everybody just kind of stands around and meets each other from, being friends on Facebook or whatever. Or they haven't seen each other in a while, and it's a good time just to bullshit and catch up.
No, I just hold my phone when I give demos. I don't even know where they're having it this year.
Having what, Ruckus?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. And guys, y'all ain't gonna believe this shit, but I have never used a GoPro for anything. You haven't been to a show since the 90s? Man, you are missing out. Car audio has changed so much. Like, I was big in it in 2006, 2007. And where it had went from then till I built the Jeep in 2019 amazed me. It's like the vibe at shows is way different now. Like in 2007, when we went to shows, nobody was really demoing.
And they would just sit there like, my car battery, my this, my that.
Everybody would sit there and let you look in their car, but they wouldn't turn nothing on because they were saving their voltage to run through the lanes. And that's all it was that shows is competing. And then the first show I went to when I built the Jeep was the Sundown show. And I was just blown away by demos. And I was like, oh my God, this is so much fun. So yeah, you've got to hit a show. Like, you got to try to find a show and hit one.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it'll be in North Carolina.
Yeah, it'll be in Fayetteville, the same city. They just don't know if they're going to be able to get the track again where they've always had it because
it's sold.
The track sold to new owners. But the new owners let them have it there in 2022, so it might still be there. But yeah, the bass scene has changed so much and the shows are so much better since you were last at a show. Man, it's way more fun now, honestly. GoPros tend to burn up battery life quickly. Yeah, I started TikTok with an iPhone, and I still use an iPhone for everything.
What you want?
That would be cool to do it every Sunday. I've thought about getting GoPros, but I would have to have more than one, and they're expensive. And I'd have to have, like, extra batteries with me, and I wouldn't know when the battery died or when it didn't, so I think it would be a lot more hassle for me than using the iPhone. Because so far I've been able to use the iPhone for everything that I need it for doing social media. And if you've been on my channel for any period of time, I try to do everything budget friendly. Because, right now the economy's in shit. But not everybody has a great budget. So even with me doing the filming and social media, I try to keep it budget friendly. Which is why I just stick with an iPhone. I kind of had to use an iPhone for the job that I do because at work I use an iPad for everything. My phone is linked with my iPad, so for tattooing, it's definitely like that. So I just kind of stick with the iPhone. Had good luck with them. I can keep an iPhone usually for 3 or 4 years. So, yeah, I just film everything with an iPhone. Seems to work great so far.
Beth, we're making no promises on anywhere like far away yet.
When we were talking about the coast, I can't remember. Down by Duncan's, Biloxi, the show.
The Biloxi, scraping the coast.
Scraping the coast. We're talking about that. Nothing like set in stone yet. I should put LED. I do have LEDs in my box. They are super bright white, and the reason I chose super bright white is I also have LEDs in that are my dome light. So like when I open the door to the Jeep, these super bright LEDs come on in the sub enclosure, and that's my dome light. And then I have a button on my control panel to push that turns them on. So I do have LEDs in there. That smelling salt wasn't that potent by the time I got to try it.
It exploded in my face.
Yeah, Deb tried it and she kept shaking it up. That makes it more potent. And when she squeezed the thing to pop it open, it like splattered on her. It facialed her. But anyway. Yes, the Blazer didn't have alternator noise, and then it started. It could have been something with the wiring on her door speakers, which we're redoing all that while we're building new doors.
We noticed some things when we took them apart.
Yeah. Now, in my Jeep, I don't really have any alternator noise. I don't like to bash any companies at all, but I had a little bit of alternator noise, not terrible. And when I took the Brand X alternator out of my Jeep and put the G2 alternator in, all of my alternator noise went away. Now, the only time I get any alternator noise whatsoever is when I turn my wheel lights on. I have rock lights and I have underglow. I can turn both of those on and not get any noise at all. When I turn my wheel lights on, I get a little bit of noise. And if I turn the radio up, I don't really hear it. But it's enough to drive me crazy. And, you know, I have that aux beam solid state relay switch panel. And I have my ground for all, you know, it's got hot and ground for everything. So I'm thinking maybe if I move the ground on my wheel lights to my ground bar and take it out of there, I'm going to see if that'll change it. But hopefully when I get Deb's Blazer doors and we get them all done and back together, it doesn't have any noise. Because with them tins in her doors, believe it or not, they were touching the seat when the door was shut. And even when the door was shut and it was touching the seat, when you would roll the window down, you could feel the window rub on the back motor on them. They were so deep. Yeah, I wish electrical noise didn't exist either. What is the best 12-inch budget sub in my opinion? Probably for budget. Oh man, I don't even know.
This is the living room. Not
What'd
your
they say?
office.
Oh, they thought it was my office?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I had an office. I don't know. No, I would definitely choose an DDX over EVL any day. American Bass XFL, good subwoofer. Probably one of the SoundCube subwoofers. I know they've been really impressive. So, but I don't know. Probably a DDX, American Bass XFL, something like that.
Check out the Woofer shop and shop around.
Yeah, I carry SoundCubed on the woofershop.com. I have American Bass on the Woofer Shop. I still have to get DS18 on there, but it's taken forever. When Paul gets the G2 Recones in for the Genesis, I will have them on the woofershop.com. And right now, the woofer shop ain't really making a profit, but it ain't making a loss. It's supporting itself, kind of. And I still have a ton of my stickers. They are on the woofershop.com. At the same price, $5 with free shipping. Let me see. It's an awesome sticker of Jangalang. In the near future, I'm going to do stickers of the Blazer. And then I'll probably have Woofer Shop logos on the Woofer Shop. Stickers for that. I've designed it. I just haven't made it into a sticker yet. Because all this stuff takes time. Yeah, pretty much anything your budget allows is a really good subwoofer. Type R's, I don't know anymore. Dude, back in like 2006, 7, the Alpine Type R's were just nasty subwoofers. Great.
Kicker.
But they definitely wasn't budget. So, I don't know.
Carrying kicker?
Oh, I love kicker. Back in the day, I still love kicker. But anyway, guys, I'm going to end this. It's like 10 o'clock. I've been on here for 2 hours. So, thank y'all for tuning in. Hold on. I know it's far from you guys. Yeah. Looking forward to a possible base. Now, yeah, at some point, I'll have to check into that. But, anyway, guys, I thank y'all for watching this. I hope I helped somebody learn how to recone a subwoofer. I would choose the XFL over the Hawks. Yeah, don't forget the thumbs up, everyone. Hopefully, yeah.
Thanks for letting me commentary, you guys.
Yeah. If you're not subscribed, give me a subscribe. You might like my content. But anyway, guys, peace out, and as always, base on.